What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's get into the TA. All right, guys. So we got another little canary here, and her name is Apple. Again, we got the same exact canary as the other day. So I'm going to point out some reasons that I think that we're probably going to be getting a bounce before getting that decent sell. Or we're going to be going a little lower now, and then we're going to have a decent sized bounce, and then that bounce is likely going to put in a divergent high on the 4-hour RSI over here on QQQ, and then that will likely be all she wrote. Now let's get into it. All right, so we're going to start here with Apple. All right, so coming back over here to Apple. All right, you see your RSI, your 4-hour RSI is approaching the same spot that you have been bouncing. Yeah, the last 6 bounces now, or the last 5 out of 6 bounces have happened here at this exact line right here on the 4-hour RSI here on Apple. You can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to have to see what happens here at number 6. But yeah, the only one you had in between here that wasn't on that line right here. And you bounced before that line. Regardless, now you are here back at your trend line, and your RSI is just about getting down there. And then we're going to actually get rid of all of these arrows we just put on there, and then we're going to take it down to the 1-hour time frame, and you can see, get rid of that line here for you. You can see we are making a lower low over here with price, but we don't over here with their CCI. And you also have your stochastic crossing up from oversold territory, and your RSI is just about at oversold territory, and the last few bounces took place once you started. That was a slappy circle there. Yeah, but they started taking place once you started getting down here, and they don't have to be the big bounces, but they could be things like this over here where you went there very quickly. Now I'm guessing this was pre-market. Yeah, it looks like that was 8 o'clock. All right, so that was a decent bounce right there. All right, over here, what do you have? Pretty quick. You had a 250 move right there. Pretty quick over here. All right, you bounced back up $3.60. That's a pretty big move, but guess what followed that? All right, you had a $10 move. Over here, all right, you were approaching oversold territory over here. All right, guys, and when we're in a bearish trend, when we're in a downtrend and not an uptrend here, I'm sure like this is not going to apply. All right, but for the time being, we're going to take advantage of the conditions that go along with this trend. So why not? Just why not? Let me just quickly get rid of all of that stuff, and boom, 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 and there we go. Let's move on. All right, so number two, why do I think we're going to be getting this bounce? All right, we come over to ES actually. All right, ES is stochastic, is almost in oversold territory. Now we're going to come down to the hourly time frame, and you can also see you do have your hourly CCI and stochastic in oversold territory. And you come down to the 15-minute time frame. Where did that bounce step in, guys? That bounce was literally right where the buyers needed to step in. This was where this was like, you know, I had the blue box over there on over there. Well, this is where the sellers defended ES. All right, so the buyer stepped in. So essentially it's an SR flip. That's what I'm getting at. You're flipping support, resistance into support. That is what's going on here. But now that we're on the 15-minute time frame, let's just point this out as well. You have this simple divergence right here, but you also have this triple bullish divergence going on right here. All right, so that is something that was telling me that we are likely going to be seeing that bounce before going lower. So I'm sorry if that pisses off some of you there, but I'm just, you know, it doesn't even have to happen. Just look at it this way. It's just, there's just a probability that it happens. So, you know, there's that. Something I'll point out is that Bitcoin is back at its well, it's not exactly back up there, but we're right underneath the neckline here. So we're going to have to see if this neckline is going to hold, because if these things go up, I would imagine Bitcoin's going to go with it. But Bitcoin didn't participate in QQ's wild short squeeze here. So we're going to have to see about that one. Regardless, you guys do know that I'm looking for a top. All right, I think we are at our major top. I think like this is it right here, and we're either gonna go up, make that divergent high, and that's gonna be the major top right there, or we're gonna have a decent sized pullback. And what I mean by a decent sized pullback is we are going to, let's actually just put this on, just see how far away we are. All right, Where are you? There you are. All right. That thing is all the way down here at 333. We got like $3 to pull back to. Even something like that, we just haven't gotten any sort of pullback, and typically like you're gonna get some sort of pullback. So that's what I'm waiting on. But what I'm seeing over here in Apple showing that like, hey, all right, we either come down, we're probably just going to come down to the August high and bounce up like that. And that would be over here on Apple. That would look something like over here on your RSI. Oh, let me put my line back up there. Sorry, guys, it took it off for you. I'm terribly sorry on that one. All right. And so if we were to get what I just described over here on QQ, like you come down and flip in the August high, it would look like this. And this is what I was saying. You're probably going to sell off a little more here, and then you're going to have a decent sized bounce, like a rather decent bounce. All right. And then you would be coming down here, and then you would just bounce up like that, or you come a little lower than that. I don't know. All right. But it would probably look like, hey, you go $1 or $2 lower, and then you probably come out and take out this high. And that would align with QQQ coming down and finding buyers up at the August high. And that would just be your little pullback before going up. And then I think that would probably put in a divergent high. You'd probably see this coming down a little bit. Then boom, that gives it some room. Then there you go. You finally have a divergent high here. We don't have bearish divergence here on the 4-hour RSI, which is typically just something I like to see on SPY and QQ before looking for these reversals. It doesn't have to happen. I pointed out it was somewhere over here, 100%. Oh, it was literally, it was either right here, it was right here. I was telling you guys, like, hey, typically, like, I like to see this 4-hour RSI at least come into overbought territory. If not, put on a bearish divergence up here while it's in overbought territory, like you had over here. You had both of those conditions. You had it in overbought territory and you had the bearish divergence, okay? Even at this high right here, going from here, you still had your bearish divergences. You have it right there on the RSI. And then boom, that marked like a $10 pullback. I think that was 315 all the way back to 305. And then you were off the race. And then guess what? You have another one. Then that also marked a decent sized pullback here from 320 all the way down to, yeah, so just about $10 again. So these are the decent sized pullbacks that I'm going to be looking for. All right. They really are. But yeah, we don't have to start this massive rug pull like I'm sure like a lot of people think that needs to happen here. But I am gonna bring something to your attention right now, so let's go over that before your boy forgets about it, and we can kind of finish things off with this. All right, we'll come back to the charts for like 5 minutes after this, but let's just point this out for everyone here. All right, QQQ. Now I'm going to point out SPYs, not so different at all from the monthly OPEX just passed, but QQQs is insanely different, and it's actually the opposite of what we just saw on SPY. All right, so SPY, we had like that trifecta setup that we were rocking with before we had a squeeze over here. And guess what? That was because we had a ton of puts that the dealers just didn't want to pay out. Well, guess what, guys? Now we have the calls being loaded up, and the puts are not loaded up. All right, so now you just have a ton of calls in the money, and there are a bunch of puts that are not in the money. So, you know, it's just I'm just pointing out, it is in the dealer's best interest at this point in time to now get these calls out of the money. And like, on top of that, not only would you be taking away these guys' money, it's not like you're paying out more puts now. All right, so I haven't been paying much attention to QQ's option chain, but over here, you can come down here to 320 and or 325, and you will still have more calls that you will be taking away their money, their premium. So you're going to be taking away these this $1,500 right here. All right, so you're taking these guys away, and you only have to pay out. So you're taking away 58,000. You're paying out 45,000. So it is now in the dealer's best interest by this June 16 expiration to start. I don't want to say rug pull, but just start bringing you down to these prices, because currently we're all the way up at 336. All right, that's $15 away from this 320. And I'm just pointing out that you now have a lot of room here in terms of like the options market for QQQ to start moving down. But keep in mind that is 25 days away. Pointing out, we just had this monthly OPEX that just passed, and as we get close to these things, they're gonna have like this gravitational pull on price, and they're pretty much like, you know, the big open interest. They're gonna act as magnets, but as you get really close to that monthly OPEX, then they're just like, then it really controls price, and that's what we just saw. That's what I was pointing out the past like 2 weeks here. you were very likely going to trade flat on over here on SPY, or you're going to trade to the upside. Why? Because you had so many freaking puts loaded up at the 400 strike, the 405 strike. I think even the 410 strike was a big one. But you come down here over here to SPY, and I'm going to show you guys. So even though on QQQ, you have it looking that way, let's just look over here on SPY. It doesn't look that way. It's still like put loaded over here on SPY. So you come over here to 400, it's even heavier than before, than the May 19 OPEX. You have 188,000 puts here. All right, 395, 91,000, 390, 166,000, 100,000, 385, 380, 114,000. So this is absolutely insane. But keep in mind, all these got demolished. Like, let's look at this 4,000 strike here. All right, I'm sure, like, you know, did not hang in there well. All right, you were at $900 not too long ago. All right, that was on the 4th. 3 weeks later, you are now at $200. There you go. But yeah, what I'm getting at, guys, is we have a lot of puts over here on SPY, but you do not have that same picture over on QQ. Like, yeah, as you go down there, it gets put heavy, but you have like that $15, $20 price window over there on QQQ. You know, there you go. It is in the dealer's best interest to bring it down here. But I will point out, up until this June expiration over on QQ, it is put loaded for all of the Friday expirations. So, again, I'm going to point out, I don't think this options market is really going to have too much control over, you know, price action till, you know, we get, like, you know, 2-3 weeks down the line till we start getting 1 to 2 weeks away from that monthly OPEX. Right now, we're 3 to 4 weeks away. So we're going to see. But it's just something I want to bring up, that SPY is still put loaded, whereas QQ is not so put loaded, which means QQ will have freedom. All right, that's what I'm pointing out. Just like QQ had freedom to the upside here. All right, you know, SPY could honestly trade relatively flat over the next month. And QQ, again, is just a volatile one. I'm just going to point that out. All right, it could very well end up playing out this way. I think that is pretty much it. All I really wanted to show you guys. All right. I do think we are going to be getting this bounce. And again, if we do fall a little further, I think we're going to, you know, just fall a little further. I think we're probably going to come down here on QQQ. Probably going to break out of this little trading range we have. The upper bound is up here. Lower bound is down here. Your lows from yesterday or Friday over here and Monday. But yeah, if you break down from there, I do think you're probably just going to come find buyers at the August high with how things are looking. You clearly see your hourly, RSI, CCI, stochastic. It's all getting down there. All right, you come down to the 15-minute time frame, and yeah, you again are already down there. You actually have a bullish divergence right as you come into this level right here, the bottom of your range. So that is something to note. If you do come down, I think it would probably look something like that, and you're probably going to get something like that. Going to look like that. And then I think we'd get buyers, and then I think we probably would be going up for a divergent high here, and then that would be something like that. There you go. And then there you go. You got your, finally you got your divergent high, the same thing that marked the last two like peaks where we had $10 pullbacks over here on QQ. I think that's like what would be put in, and then I think that would mark that, and there you go. Then we'd be moving down, and we will play things by ear, guys. No, I don't think a massive crash is going to happen with everyone thinking a massive crash is going to happen. You really are going to see the catalyst. Right now, I don't see any catalyst. You got the debt ceiling thing going on. That's a catalyst, but I'm going to need to see it because I'm sure a lot of people are looking at that thing and like, yeah, that's going to make the market tank. Well, guess what, guys, all right? What if everyone gets super fearful over it, piles in short, maybe QQ tanks at $10 or $15 or gets down to where I just pointed out, like 320-ish down there, all right? Maybe we get down there, and then you freaking start having a mega squeeze again because you have the June 16 OPEX. Everyone's freaking loading puts into that OPEX. So, like, yeah, I think we are getting, like, a top here. But, like, guess what, guys? What if it's not a major top that is going to, you know, what if it's not going to unwind all of this price action? What that's what I'm getting at. All right. What if you just get your little pullback, and anyone who's not satisfied with these gains are like, you know what? Let's just look at this. Okay. So I found this yesterday, guys. Use this instead of, I've always wondered why they don't have this, so I could put it up here, but now I see why they have this. All right. So we're going to be using this. The 9% cool off. All right, 9%. And that was, I would say this is less than a lot of people were looking for. I think a lot of people were looking for either something like this or something like this, and you just didn't get that. But either way, it was a 9% pullback there, still 30 bucks. All right, so that would literally bring us down to like this 308 gap fill right over here. All right, what if it is something like this? All right, and maybe it's even less because this, you know, everyone's on the options market. All right, what if it's even less than this? And any, like, yeah, this is a sizable move to make money off of, but what if like all, you know, or not all, but like what if a lot of the people in puts they're not satisfied with this move. All right, and then you're trading flat and you have a base like we had over here, and guys, I'll point these things out. I know for a fact, guys, when we were over here when we were over here, your boy was telling you, it had the recipe for a squeeze. When we were over here, your boy was telling you 100% into this May 13th, they're March 13th. I know for a fact your boy was telling you, you had so much squeeze fuel going on here. You had so much. You had VIX of 70, all right? If you weren't going to crash, you were going to have a filthy-ass squeeze, guys. And yes, your boy will tell you about this. What happened over here? Your boy was pretty sure before going any lower, we're probably going to get a decent bounce here. That was going to be a short squeeze rally. Did I think it would turn into that? No, but I still will let you know when things are fishy. All right, guys, my guarantee to you that you will get on this channel is, hey, I guarantee that you will see consistent insights here on the channel that you will not find anywhere else on the interwebs. Maybe you find one or two, but you're not going to find them all consistently in one consolidated place. I got you with the one-stop Henry shop. Here we go. That is my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.